Farms make up a huge part of the world, so it's no surprise that there have been some crazy and maybe even cursed things found across them over the years. So let's waste no time, because I'm here with part 2 of the top 10 unsettling discoveries made by farmers. Starting us off at number 10, the Alberta Graves. One morning, an Albertan farmer was out doing his daily rounds to check his crops when he came across something truly horrifying: a human skull. Immediately afraid there had been someone killed and buried on his farm, he called the authorities to come and take a look. Thankfully, it was uncovered that it was a very old skull dating back to the 19th century, but it didn't come without its mysteries. It appeared to belong to a girl, and it was surrounded by rings, buttons, jewelry, and a lone thimble. All these knickknacks would suggest she was of high status, but experts were still confused as to who she was. She had been buried nowhere near any known indigenous communities of the area and prior to the European settlers' arrival. But she was wearing what appeared to be a European military coat, leaving everyone more confused and more unsettled than when they started. Next up at number 9, oil spill. In 2013, after a few days of smelling what he thought to be crude oil, North Dakota farmer Stephen Jensen finally stumbled across the disaster. Steve was a wheat farmer, and while harvesting some of his crop, he discovered jet black oil bubbling out of the ground. After some investigations by officials, it was discovered to be from a nearby broken pipeline owned by Tessero. The oil spill stretched roughly 7 football fields, and although not much wildlife is known to live there, all the grain within half a mile was no longer fit to be consumed, making miles of his crops worth nothing for the next 2 to 3 years. Eventually, the leak was repaired after a hefty $4 million was put into the incident, but Stephen still had to head into a legal battle to try and get compensated for the current and future income setback. Coming in at number 8, criminal cash. Back in 2015, Colombian farmer Jose Cartolos was given a grant from the government in order to start his palm oil plantation. While digging an irrigation trench for the project, Jose kept coming across strange blue containers stuffed with cash across his property. Eventually, after many hours of digging, Jose discovered a whopping $600 million hidden across his field, and it's believed to be linked to the infamous criminal Pablo Escobar. Of course, Jose was not permitted to keep the fortune, but it did have many wondering where else the criminal could be hiding cash. And even worse, would anyone be coming after him for uncovering it? Next up at number 7, a mysterious safe. One morning, Kirk Mathis, a New York farmer, stumbled upon a mysterious and haunting safe in one of his fields. The peculiar discovery was left with a note attached stating that whoever was able to open the safe could have what's inside. It was extremely heavy, at least several hundred pounds, which certainly raised some eyebrows about what was inside, as it took heavy-duty equipment to move it from where it was found. Once word of the mysterious box spread in the media, folks were dying to know what was inside. Though many have attempted to open the safe, none have been successful, and it seems like that is the way the farmer wants it. He says the safe remains hidden on his property and that he has no plans of opening it up anytime soon. Maybe he fears it's cursed, or maybe he just wants to keep the fantasy going. But either way, it is a truly unsettling thing to find in the middle of nowhere. Coming in at number 6, an Irish tomb. In 2021, a farmer stumbled upon an ancient and mysterious tomb thought to be about 4,000 years old. Although the initial discovery seemed harmless, once experts were able to get inside, they found it was filled with human remains. Prior to the farmer discovering the tomb, it appears to have been virtually untouched, which is incredibly rare and all the more unsettling. Experts still don't know just exactly what the site was dedicated to all those years ago, and hey, maybe it was simply a burial plot. But considering it appears to have been unexplored for centuries, certainly sends a shiver down your spine. Could it be that it's hiding more than it appears? Did we awaken something that was meant to be hidden? I sure hope not. Coming in at number 5, an ancient hidden mural. When farmer Lucas Ramirez decided to renovate his home, he never in a million years dreamed that he would uncover this. Back in 2005, Ramirez went ahead and removed the kitchen's plaster to find ancient Mayan murals underneath. The images are believed to be at least 300 years old and look to depict when the Spaniards found the community and forced the locals to build a church that to this day still stands. But could it be bad news that these murals were found? Was there a good reason that they had been covered up all those years ago? Once news broke of the Ramirez kitchen discovery, others in the town began tearing down their walls too. 4 more homes in the area uncovered murals, and of those 4, one signified the end of times, showing fireballs falling from the sky and rage from the gods. I mean, I am no expert, but that can't be a good sign. Coming in at number 4, the Metepec Creature. As the legend goes, one night a ranch hand named Urso Ruiz had set up some rat traps, as was a normal routine for him. But this time he would find anything but his normal catch. After hearing a strange noise, he, along with some of the other farmers, went to go and check out the trap, and they found a creature unlike anything known to man. The creature was about the size of a small cat, with smooth, whitish gray skin and a large head, and was said to possess a scream like nothing they'd ever heard before. Very terrified, the farmers killed the creature, thinking it was some kind of alien. Then strangely, only a few days after the incident, one of the involved farmers actually died in a car crash, causing some believers of the conspiracy to think that he had been cursed by alien overlords for killing the creature. While there are people out there who believe the whole thing to be a total hoax, many believers of the conspiracy continue to stop at nothing to prove the existence of this strange alleged creature. Next up at number 3, a body. One poor South African farmer made a gruesome discovery while surveying his cane fields earlier this year when he stumbled across a dead body. The man he found appeared to have been shot in the back of his head as well as his arm. The farmer was terrified, worried that whoever did this could still be around, so he immediately called the police. Authorities confirmed the man was indeed killed, but still have no clue who did it or why, and have no clue if there are any connections to the man who found him. Not much else is known, as this is an ongoing investigation, but let's just hope they figure out who did this before it happens to someone again and it's too late. Coming in at number 2, Maine Chicks. While there are many complaints that can be said about postal service delays, this is by far the worst. In 2020, across New England, thousands of farmers were receiving horrifying deliveries in the mail. One farmer in particular, Pauline Henderson, had ordered 800 chicks for her farm, Pine Tree Poultry, and upon delivery, all 800 were dead. This was extremely unusual. As Henderson mentioned, maybe 1 in 100 would not make the journey in usual shipments, but during the time of these specific postal issues and delays, it's estimated that 4,800 chicks were delivered dead on site in a matter of weeks. Not only did this cost the involved farmers thousands of dollars, but it sent an uproar throughout the United States about the distress caused to the animals during their time in shipment. And last up in our number 1 spot, a UFO encounter. The year was 1974, and a Saskatchewan farmer witnessed something that would change his life forever. While out swathing his fields, Edwin Furr saw a bright light in the distance. Initially, he assumed it was just the sun, but as he got closer, he says he saw a strange, floating, spinning object that he could only assume was an alien spaceship. He stood motionless, staring at the terrifying metal object, and watched as it spun quickly round and around. Then, all of a sudden, the object emitted a gray vapor from underneath and disappeared in the blink of an eye into the sky. The only trace left by the strange UFO was a pattern of 5 rings in his crop fields, classifying this alleged sighting as a close encounter. The field went under a great investigation, but to this day, no one has been able to settle once and for all what Edwin saw that fateful day. Well, there you have it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Kennedy. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.